Boy, that didn't take long. An overnight rain, and we've got rye up. It's overnight. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We're standing out in late November in one of our hay fields to showcase an experiment here on Rolling Hills Farms. An experiment that we're hoping will change the way we do our primary tillage. And what I'm talking about is use of rye and cover crops. So this is a section of a hayfield we plowed up in late summer. It was due to be plowed up, and normally we would have just plowed it and allowed it to sit as dirt for the winter. But this year we decided to experiment in a couple of fields to plow a little early and plant rye as a cover crop to see if we could get a stand established. And as you can see, it worked pretty well. Now, even though the deer have chewed on this a little bit, there's a pretty solid mat of rye here, and it's doing a couple things. Certainly it's covering the dirt here all the way across this field, so that there's no erosion of any kind, wind erosion or water erosion. And at the same time, it's established a pretty solid root mass that we think will be quality fertilizer in the spring for when we decide to work this up and plant what will be our crop for the season. So this system has worked for us for 30 plus years. And it's the system that was employed by a lot of my neighbors, most of whom have passed on now. The old farmers who were operating here in the 80s when we moved in. And so, you know, they knew how to spray, and I saw people testing out chisel plows. But everybody went back to this same rotation we're doing. You plow it, you let it sit open for the winter. It kills that surface weed growth. You disc it in the spring, and you quickly plant your small grain so that you can outrun the weeds. Starting in August, we plowed it right after first crop. We turned under the existing grass. Then we came in with our disc and smoothed it out. Not really small grain smooth. We didn't use a field roller or any of our, what I would consider our finishing tools. But we got it smoothed out enough that we could get in and seed it down. On this experiment, we just used our small food plot seeder, and it's a cut down old John Deere Van Brunt 12-footer cut down to 6 feet, and we pulled it with a side-by-side, a UTV. We bought just feed quality rye from the local feed store and put in bags of rye at a couple of bushels per acre, just to see if we could establish this plot. And in fact, you can actually see in the bags there's little bits of corn. It really wasn't clean seed, so we probably put a lot of different things on it. But our goal here was to just get this map of growth to see if we could get it up with the limited season we've got up here in northern Minnesota. Boy, that didn't take long. An overnight rain, and we've got rye up. It's overnight up 2-3 inches. You can see the rows all the way across. Within weeks of that initial spurt of growth, we had a solid mat of rye. So by early September, there really was no dirt showing. The rye came up 5-6 inches. Now fast forward to first frost, which is where we are now, and you can see the rye is covering pretty much the entire field. The plant population is very solid. You know, there's no real concern of wind or water erosion. We've got the soil covered here. So a couple of big questions remain, and one is, how are we going to kill this in the spring? We don't spray, and so we planted this with the thought that we'd come back in here in the spring, disc this under, and make fertilizer out of it, basically, and then we'll plant in our new crop. And I think on this field we're gonna do oats and plant alfalfa underneath the oats, because this field has proven to be really good for alfalfa. Of course, the other big question is, what's the fertilizer value of this rye? You can see there's quite a bit of green growth. And so I'll be very interested to see, and it'll take, well, it'll take a year to see what kind of growth we get in the oats, and then the alfalfa after that, and what kind of additional fertilizer we need to put in on this field. Well, that's just going to take time. I hope you stick with us and help us or watch us as we continue to experiment to improve farming techniques here on Rolling Hills Farm. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time.